So, is it true that the place where you live has an impact on the way you are shooting, and in what measure, and what impact has on the brand of camera you're picking up for your content creation? Let's see it together. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from One Lens Only, and today we're gonna talk this magnification that I discovered on my One Lens Only, which is a Zeiss 55mm f1.8 paired with the Sony a7C Mark II, which I'm using right now to record this episode. And so when I was in Vancouver, Canada, I was so proud of my Leica Q2 because by the way I was going out and I was teaching street photography, and in the streets out there, you know, in Canada you have these empty spaces, not so much people living in there, despite the city was 1.5 million people, but still all around yourself you have spaces, so you could do composition, framing, and the image quality was key over there. And then I started going out and about with this friend, and this friend was passionate about Sony cameras. He had several glasses to try and test, and so I started making and sniffing my way through Sony with the Sony a7R Mark III first, and then with this 7C Mark II finally, that then became my camera, and then also with what glass pairing it, because when I was in Vancouver, this was not so much aligned with the way I was creating contents over there, because I was still shooting with the Leica. But then when I moved here to Europe, as you know guys, Europe, we have these tiny spaces, all the cities are more compressed, let's say, smaller spaces and more people living in it. And so with the 28mm of my Leica, I would eventually have plenty, way too many tourists in the frame. And so I had to narrow down, so this is why the discussion is still ongoing, 35 or 50mm for street photography. But then finally I picked up this 55. But this 55 paired with Sony also motivated me to start creating videos. And so I'm out there shooting B-roll most of the times when I'm not talking right here in my studio, because I have plenty of things to say, plenty of equipment and glasses to try, but also plenty of functionalities to discover in this Sony, which I didn't have when I was shooting with the Leica. And so we can really say that, at least in my case, being in Europe influenced the way I was shooting, especially the focal length first, and then also the camera that I picked up. And then once I had landed my hands on this Sony, I started recording videos because, well, you know, video making, it's a nowadays thing. It was not existing back in the days when I started shooting with film cameras, but nowadays we all have these hybrid cameras that are able to shoot 4K. The audio is great with the mic, and then you can have a lavalier mic for a few dozen bucks, and so there's the stab in it, and there are plenty of things that I didn't have in my Leica, and then motivated me using this Sony to the fullest. So let's see together, because I did some trials with this Sony with the active stab. So you want to have, hello, there's a bee joining us, guys. You cannot see it, but it's right there, exploring the house. All right, went. So I was saying, this active stab that you can only have with Sony glasses. At least they told me that with third-party glasses it doesn't work so well. I still have to try it. I have a Viltrox glass coming, so stay tuned, because we're gonna talk about it later on this week in the next episode. And so active stab, that helps a lot, not so much for vlogging. I will try it with a wider glass for vlogging, but it helps a lot, especially on long focal distances. And then the second functionality that you have with the Sony camera, if you are using Sony glasses, which is the clear image zoom. Now, the clear image zoom, it is something that you don't really appreciate when you're shooting stills. You do appreciate it when you shoot videos 4K. Why is that? Because my camera, once again, the A7C Mark II, which is the compact version of the A7 IV, allows you to have pre-framing within the frame when you're shooting videos, meaning that the camera would follow you with a smaller frame, because the full width and the full resolution is 7K. So when you're shooting 4K, it's oversampled from 7K, meaning that with 33 megapixels that this sensor has, it has enough pixels to have a smaller 4K frame that follows you within the wide, complete, full frame that you're having with a given focal length. So this is great. Why is this great? Because it allows you to have a magnification of 1.5 times your focal length with no apparent loss of data. Meaning that my 55mm camera that I'm using right now can eventually be with a clear image zoomed in till 82.5, which gives you a lot of compression, a longer reach. And so if we make an example, now I don't have the glass, but with a 16 to 35, you might be able to use it as a 16 to 52.5 mil, which is a great range, especially if you're using one lens only. So stay tuned, because I'm gonna challenge this camera, and the next challenge is, if we have a good script and a good camera and an average, let's say, video maker, because video, it is something that I only started recently with this channel, so it's like a couple of years versus the 30 plus years experience I have with photos. So let's say good script, good camera, and an average video maker. Is it enough to make a compelling and attractive short film? So stay tuned, because we're gonna discover it together. I already have a script. I might have found the location. I just need to shoot it, and then I'm gonna involve you. So stay tuned, because we're gonna do together all the shooting, the post-processing, the mixing, till the very final edit that is going to be a short film. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.